brand new street and brand new me. Side by friends I need.
Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to make a crock pot beef stew, but we've got some prep work to do beforehand. I've already cut a chuck roast up into chunks, pretty hefty chunks. They're all irregular, but most of them are about an inch and a half, something like that. You will have to dredge them in some flour, some garlic powder, salt and pepper, and then you'll have to cook them in some oil in the skillet, just enough to brown them, and then remove them. Now what I'm about to do is saute my onion a little bit, and we're going to do that until it's tender. So I'm trying to dig it all out because dummy me put it with my carrots. So I'm going to have to get all these out and throw those in. So I'm gonna not film that part because it's going to be a little bit tedious, but I'll be right back here in a few, and we're going to do something with the pan drippings right before we add everything to the crock pot. I'll be right back. Okay y'all, so I've got the onion semi-cooked, and so now we're going to add a cup of beef broth to the skillet with all the drippings in there. I don't really have much, but I'm just going to follow the recipe. I'm going to turn the heat up a little and let that simmer just a second. Okay, so the next thing that we've got to do is we're going to add everything to the crock pot. So give me a second, let me reposition my camera, and then we will get that started. Hang on. Okay, so I've got crock pot insert up here where y'all can see. And I'm gonna go ahead, I sprayed it. I'll just do that as a precaution period, whether the recipe calls for it or not. I went ahead and add my still not cooked all the way beef, so keep that in mind in here. And then we're going to put our onion in here that we just sauteed. So we're all good there. Then we're going to go ahead and add all of our vegetables. We have some chopped carrots, peeled and chopped potatoes, and some chopped up celery. So I got all that. All right, so you're gonna do all your broth. You're gonna do your 3 cups of beef broth, and those little bits are my bouillon cubes. I go ahead and put those in there too. And the cup of hot broth that you just made with the drippings. Okay, and then that's it. You just have some more little small odds and ends to put in there, and we can go ahead and start cooking. You're going to need a cup of V8 juice. You're going to need about a tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce. You're going to also need a teaspoon of rosemary. And it's supposed to be a half a teaspoon of thyme, but I'm going to do about a teaspoon of that too, because I like thyme. And I think that's all. I do want to put a little bit of pepper and salt in here, and then we'll probably add more after it's done. I just want to make sure that it's got enough. Not too much. You don't want to do too much because that V8 juice has got some sodium in it, but you can't always use the low sodium type. The one I used was not. Okay, so we do still have a few things to do at the end, but right now we're caught up. So you need to cook this on high 45 hours or low 8 to 9 hours, or until the meat is done. All right, I'll see you back here this afternoon. Okay, y'all, so it's the end of the day. This is our beef stew now, and it's basically perfect the way it is, I think. But we're gonna go ahead and add a little bit of a slurry. So that's gonna be A couple of tablespoons of cornstarch, a couple tablespoons of water. Just try to thicken the juices just a little bit. And then, right before we serve it, we're going to add 3/4 of a cup of green peas, and these can be straight out of the freezer. They'll cook based on, you know, the heat from the soup itself. So just add that to it. It gives a little bit of color and a little bit of different texture in there. And that's basically it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put it back on the heat. And you're going to cook it for about another 15 minutes. But this is the finished product basically. And then it'll thicken up just a little bit. And it'll cook those peas a little bit. And we'll be ready to serve. Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. We are working on some more slow cooker or crock pot videos today. This one is a slow cooker Mexican bubble up casserole, and you will have to do a little bit of prep work before we get to the actual crock pot portion. So the first thing you need to do is take your ground beef and cook it loose and drain it. And then while we're still heating over the skillet, we're going to add 16 ounces of taco sauce. I just got the generic. We're going to pour this in here. Okay. And we're going to get some taco seasoning. I'm going to add that. And 3/4 of a cup of water. And so we're going to mix all this together and make a mess. You get a spoon. Mix all this in. You're going to cook this until it's boiling, and then you're going to reduce it and let it simmer for about 5 minutes. We're trying to get it to thicken up. So combine it and then thicken up a little bit. So I'm going to kind of put this on medium-high heat. That way we can hurry it along. Bring to a boil. Then cut it down to a simmer. Let it simmer for about 5 minutes. And then we will move over to our crock pot portion of this recipe. See you back here in a few. Okay, y'all. So we've moved on over to our crock pot. You need a large can of jumbo size biscuits, and they usually come about 8, I believe, to a tube. So this is the refrigerated biscuits. You're going to take each biscuit and cut it into 6 pieces. So cut it in half, and then 3 pieces for each half. And then you're going to spray your crock pot. You're going to put these down in here. And then we are going to pour this over the biscuits. And then you're going to use half of your cheddar, which is going to be 1 cup. We're going to fold in. And then after this is cooked, we are going to come back and put the last cup of cheese on top. So we need to get this stirred up. Try not to be too rough with the biscuits. The heat from the meat mixture will kind of not melt them, but kind of soften them some more. All right, so we're just gonna kind of leave that be. And you're gonna cover this and you're gonna cook it on low for 3 to 3.5 hours until the dough is cooked. Hey y'all, this is the finished product for the Bubble Up, the, what was it called again? Mexican Bubble Up Casserole. There towards the end, before I added the final bit of cheese that needed to go over the top, it just didn't seem like it was done quite enough. So I turned it up on high for about 20 minutes and it finished cooking pretty quickly. I've chopped up some tomatoes. I've got some sour cream. I'm going to add that as a topping. Get a little bit of a tomato, a little bit of black olive, and a little bit of chopped green onion, and that is what I'm going to serve the family. I don't really think that it needs anything to go with it. You could do a side salad if you wanted to, or even add lettuce to this. But it's pretty much an all-in-one dump and go kind of recipe, and it's ready to serve now that I put the garnishes on it. But that'll be it for today. I'll see y'all next time.
I wish I could wipe my own memory out. I wish I could dream about somebody else. I wish I could talk when the silence so loud. I wish